Greetings, medics. Welcome to some worked examples for the quantitative reasoning section of the UCAT exam, and we're going to be looking at some data interpretation questions. Let's go. Question numero uno. Voting summary for environmental club elections are shown for 2021 and 2023. How many members voted in the environmental club election in 2021? So we have got 2021 here. We also know, let's make that a bit poppy. We've also got the total eligible club members. So 950 of those are eligible to vote. So of those, what was the turnout rate as a percentage of eligible members? What we're going to do is we're going to do 72.4% of 950. So let's do 72.4 over 100 multiplied by 950. I would use a calculator here and do 0.724 times 950 to get what? We are given an answer of 687.8. Can't have 0.8 of a person, so what I'm going to do is round up, get rid of the calculator. So is there an option that gives me 688? And yes, there is. The option there is option B. Nice and easy. Ta-ta. Question number 2. So we've got a study which examines the percentage of class time spent talking about projects across various class durations or class times. The shortest class is 25 minutes long and the longest is 90 minutes long. How much time is spent talking about projects in classes that last 50 minutes? Okay, so question summary. What are we actually being told? What are we shown? We've got a bar chart. So we've got a bar chart showing the percentage of class time spent on project discussions versus the class duration. Okay, we're also told that this class lasts 50 minutes. Okay, so first of all, let's locate 50 minutes. Now, we're given ranges, but our 50-minute class is going to be in this bit because it's 45 to 60, so 50 is within that range. So now what can we do? We are going to see what the percentage of class time is that is spent talking about projects. So 5% of 50 minutes is what we're really saying, because if we read off that graph, we can see that 5% of class time is spent. So 5% of class time spent talking or discussing projects. Now, do we know the class time? I should actually say 5% of class time spent about talking about projects. Now, I know the class time. My class time is 50 minutes because that's given to me in the question. So this becomes relatively straightforward then. We are told to say 5%, so 5 out of 100 of 50 minutes. So let's express that as 50 over 1. So what can we cancel out? So my zeros cancel out. And then can I do any cross cancelling? Well, let's have a look at here. I mean, there's multiple ways to do this. I don't know why. I just had some attention drawn here. So we can divide that one by 5. So 5 goes into 10 2 times. And divide this side by 5. So 5 goes into 5 once. So this becomes 5 over 2 times 1 over 1. So the answer is 5 over 2. So this is equal to 2.5 mins. So the answer there is B. Now you didn't have to do that cross cancelling, because what you could have done is 5 over 100 times 50 over 1. And you know that 5 times 5 is 25, and account for the 0 as well. So 5 times 5 is 25, account for that 0 there, and then we're just dividing that by 100, cancel the zeros, and then we're doing 25 divided by 10, which is equal to 2.5. 2 different ways to do it, whatever works for you. So here the answer is 2.5 mins. Let's have a look at what question 3 has in store. Okay, question number 3 looks pretty meaty. So an investor allocates their entire portfolio of £96,000 according to the distribution shown in the pie chart below. Later on, the investor decides to rebalance the portfolio so that the amount invested in real estate becomes equal to the amount invested in bonds without changing the total investment. Okay, to get this, the investor only moves money between real estate and bonds, leaving the allocations for cash and stocks unchanged. How much money in pounds must be moved from bonds to real estate to complete the rebalancing? Okay, so £96,000 is split between 4 categories, but not equally. And they want to make the amount of money in bonds and real estate equal, and they're only allowed to move money between those 2 categories. So first thing first, let's calculate how much money is in each of those categories. So in bonds, that is 25% of 9600. So let's just get our calculator up. So 0.25 times 9600 is 24000 pounds. Okay, so real estate, we'll just call it RE, is 20% of 9600. So we are going to do 0.2 times 96, which is 19.2. So times by 1,000 is going to be 19,200. Okay, so now we've got the allocation of money in both of those categories. What we can do is find the midpoint between these two, okay? Because the midpoint is the halfway house between bonds and real estate. So to find the midpoint, what we're going to do is we're going to do 24000 plus 19200 all over 2. So let's figure out what that point is. So we'll just multiply that by 1,000 plus 24000 over 2 gives me 21600. So we want to equalize them. So we want to set them both to 21,600. And to do that, what we're going to do is for bonds, so we need to move from bonds or I guess could we do it another way? Hang on, there might be an easier way to do this. Yeah, so I could look at it from the point of view of bonds and take 21,600 away from 24,000. Another way of looking at it is, for real estate, we want that to equal 21600. And to equal 21600, we have 19,200 plus some mystical number. And that mystical number is going to be the difference of how much money needs to move. So this number is going to be equal to, let's figure it out on the calculator. So it's going to be 21600 take away 19200 to give you how much money needs to be added into real estate, and that can only come from bonds. So that is 2,400. So the answer there is A. Now there's another way that you can do this, right? You can think about it from the point of view of bonds, as we said previously. So 24,000, and we can take away and you get the same answer. And you get the same answer because that one you're trying to get down to 21,600, and you need to take that much money off and move it into real estate. Okay, nice little question there. Thank you for watching. See you for the next round of quantitative reasoning. Ta-ta.